Hello, everyone. Adrian Groenewald here, Me Vision. We're talking purpose, and it's such a privilege and blessing to meet people all over the world. We are mobilizing by countries, sectors, and different levels in organizations in those sectors. Individuals who have found their purpose. And we believe that that is what's missing in our society. Organizations who have found their purpose, but certainly individuals as well. So today I have another amazing leader. And by the way, we want to mobilize 30,000 by 2030, and after that, 30,000 per country. So it's very ambitious. And we're slowly but surely getting there, and we're doing a lot of things, putting it in place today. She's no stranger to me. We've met a few times over the years. Dr. Louise Van Rhyn, co-founder and CEO of Symphonia Leadership Development. Louise, great to be with you.
Thank you very much. Delighted to be here.
Let's talk purpose. I know that you feel passionate about it, but why is purpose, maybe finding one's purpose, important?
So, Auden, I do think finding your purpose is like discovering the compass, your reason for being on the planet. And since I have found my purpose, I have often felt a bit lost at times. And then in those moments where I felt lost, I went back to my purpose, and it was a reminder, oh, that's why I'm here. And then it just kind of gets me back on track. So I do think there's an amazing joy in actually being clear about why you're on the planet.
Yeah, why you're on the planet, not just why you do the job you do. So purpose can go different layers, I guess. You can have an overall purpose, you can have a very deep purpose. It's different for all of us. What's the connection between finding your purpose and leading, do you think?
I think in every endeavor, whether it's leadership or whatever the work is that you do, it's always useful to be clear about your why. Simon Sinek did a fantastic job of reminding us all that people don't engage with you or buy your product because of what you do. They engage with you around why you do it. And there's definitely no doubt that when you are clear about your why, when you are clear about what it is that kind of drives you, it just makes it, I don't want to use the word easier, but it makes it more, it gives you clarity around what you're going to say yes to and what you're going to say no to, and what you're going to focus your attention on, and how are you going to spend your time, and how you're going to prioritize what you do.
How do you know that you found your purpose? Because I'm interviewing a lot of people now, and some of them, I think they found their purpose, but my feeling and instinct tells me they will discover more and deeper elements to their purpose that they haven't really discovered it fully necessarily. But how do you know that I have?
So I thought for a long time that my purpose was to be in South Africa, specifically as an Afrikaner woman who grew up with all the benefits of living in this country, being white and privileged, and that my purpose was to make a contribution to the South Africa that works for all, to a more just, equitable, and joyful South Africa. So that was clear in my mind, but I didn't have language to describe it. And then I had the joy of participating in a leadership development program in America, of all places, offered by Conversant, where they specifically, one of the key building blocks of this leadership development programs is for you to discover your purpose with the participation of the people in your learning set. So it was the third module of this program was focused on purpose. And the gift from this program was for each of us to leave the program with a very clear articulation of purpose. And they've put a lot of effort into understanding, what does that story look like, or what does the description look like that it will give you, that it will act as a compass. And then since then, I've had the opportunity to do a purpose workshop with Pepe Mare, who's South Africa's, purpose person. And he has helped me see a different angle to this. But so these two things together, the purpose, one word purpose that came out of the workshop with Pepe, And the purpose statement that came out of the conversant workshops have been my compass since I discovered that.
So did that change what you thought was your purpose then, or you did that?
It just gave me, it was more clear. And I keep finding myself going back to this description that came out of the conversant workshop. And every time I do, I go, yes, yes, that kind of feeling that your whole body. I remember in the workshop actually, because the way that it works is, it's kind of complicated process, but in the end, the group then articulates on your behalf your purpose statement for you as a gift. So this is how we want to articulate this for you. And I remember that feeling that every cell in my body felt alive and bubbling, because I never had that. I've never had that. It was such a gift. And yeah, so
it's like a spiritual moment, actually, isn't
it? Definitely a very, very special moment. And with the workshop with Pep, it was similar, but it was a one word, and it doesn't have so much depth. So the depth for me, the granularity of the description is what I found most valuable.
Okay, before we go to what your purpose is, which I'm excited to hear, but then since then, life can get so busy that it is possible to not totally lose track from your purpose, but to be distracted in some ways, I guess. I mean, you don't feel that tingly feeling every day of your life. Even if you read it again, you don't necessarily feel the same feeling you did in the workshop, but this is what it is. Am I right when I say that you can find your purpose and you can go a little bit off the beaten path, but you kind of drift back often?
So I have a series of practices that keep me on track. One is I do start my days with a gratitude practice around, what I'm grateful for. And then I have a clear, I set an intention for this day, for this week, because I feel that my time on the planet, I'm at that point where many of us, where the years ahead is going to be less than the years that we've already gone. So this time matters. Today matters, this week matters. And part of that practice is to kind of be clear around, so what do I want to achieve with this day? What is my intention for this day, this week, this month? And I find myself going back to my purpose almost daily, just a reminder, that's my reason for being. So that's going to help me to choose what I'm going to spend my time on and what am I going to prioritize. So it is part of my practice, very intentionally so.
Yeah, and I guess if that's the word, isn't it? Intentionally so. Otherwise, it's so easy to be distracted in this world. So share with us your purpose.
So I'm gonna be brave and read the whole thing to you. And
please.
And I find myself when I talk to people about this, I leave this first bit out because it feels like, oh my word, I don't want, that's not what I want. I don't want people to think I'm being full of myself. But here's what my team gave me as a gift, and I can see them all sitting there in Colorado when this all happened. So they first came up with a description of me, and they said, inspirational, radiant, visionary. So it was kind of a reminder to me around how they experienced me. And then the rest, the purpose statement itself says, I invite and ignite courageous contribution. Walking together, we reclaim our humanity to create a more just, loving, and joyful future. We are possibility. So for me, that's the reminder about what I'm contributing to every single day and what I am committed to achieve in the world, to invite and ignite courageous contribution, to facilitate walking together so that we can reclaim our humanity to create a more just, loving, and joyful future.
There's so much to do around that in our country, in the world, but let's just talk South Africa. Heck, Louise, you've got lots to do.
And Adrian, that's the joy of the work that I do, because I get to do this every day. I get to be in rooms with groups of people who are figuring out how to contribute to a more human workplace, for example. And then the work as an Afrikaner, we talked earlier about this article that I recently wrote for the Sunday Times, is a reminder that in this country we are invited and asked to contribute to a new story about this country, not a story of strife and fighting with each other, but to collaborate for the future that we are dreaming about, the country of our dreams, a country that is just loving and joyful.
Yeah, and we've had moments of that we're not, and then of late, not so much. And unfortunately, we need politicians to lead the country, but we've got to lead despite them in many cases. There are good ones, but they are not always that loud and that clear. So our citizens, we in our environments, our communities have to do something about it. But what a vibrant country, no doubt. I mean, we've hopefully we can show the world again the blessing of belonging to this nation in due course.
And I feel very strongly, and I think part of what this group was reflecting back to me is that that's what they heard from me all the time, is that South Africa is a gift and contribution to the world. And the old story of us being a recipient of things coming from America, which is why I'm a bit irritated with this idea that we're now going to, go to America to claim that some people are claiming that we are victims and we need help from America. Because I genuinely think that in years to come, people from the global north are going to come and learn about leadership and figuring out how to live and work together from countries like South Africa. So I have such a strong sense that we have been put on this planet to be a gift to the world.
But I feel like it was within our grasp and we had it at one stage. Now we have to work hard to get that back.
Well, I think what happened is there was a time where people were much more engaged, wholeheartedly engaged in the project of creating a new South Africa or a different South Africa. And over the years, many of us have become a bit tired. Maybe we've abdicated responsibility to politicians. We thought it will be done by someone else. And that's part of the challenge now, is for each and every South African to realize that we all have a contribution to make. The conversations you're going to be engaging in today, Peter Block always used to say that we change the world one room and one conversation at a time. And then the question comes, which one? It's the one you're in today. And so every time we open our mouth, every time we engage in a conversation, every time we enter a room, we have an opportunity to contribute to a better future. And imagine if all of us, all 60 million of us, knew that. And all of us in every role from every place we are contributing to could just remind ourselves that this is our future and it is in our hand. Mandela said that to us. He said, the future is now in your hands.
Mm. Louise, very quickly, share with us what people can do to find their purpose. What do you say to leaders when they sit in a room and they struggle to find it and they don't know if they have? What's your advice?
So I have seen the benefit of working through that Find Your Why book by Simon Sinek. One of the things that he advised people to do is find a friend who's walking this journey with you and spend time with you. So I did quite a bit of that on my own, so that by the time I went to this workshop in Colorado, I had already done a lot of thinking for myself. But they realized it's not something I could get to on my own. Well, I'm personally, maybe other people can do it for themselves. It is, we find our purpose in community. We find our purpose when we reflect to each other what we experience in each other. And so I think this is something that groups of people could do together, is to keep asking those questions around why are we here? Why do you do what you do? Why does this bring you joy rather than that? Why is this more important than that? And it is absolutely unique to each of us. Another book or a resource that's incredibly valuable is Boyd Varty's book, Lion Tracker's Guide to Life. What he encourages us to do is to keep pay attention to what are the things that make your eye shine? What are the things that you find yourself, you prioritize above other things? What are the articles that you choose to read when you open a newspaper? Because all of those are clues around what matters to you. And then the opportunity is for each of us to find our unique song, the one that only I can sing. What is the contribution that no one else can make? But I can because of my unique history. And that's where it gets, really powerful, is when each of us realize that because of our unique story and our unique background, we each have a purpose that's ours.
Are there enough people who have found their purpose in our country, in the world, do you
I
think?
don't think so. I don't think so. And when I'm just, you're just reminding me, when I came back from that workshop, I felt we needed to democratize that process. We needed to find a way of getting many, many more people to experience the joy of having their purpose articulated in that way. And you're just reminding me now about maybe that is something we need to do more of, where we do need to find a way to
Yeah.
get more people that experience.
That worries me a little bit, and that's why I was blown away in a simple way when I interviewed a guy in his shack last week. You'll see, I just put it on LinkedIn. He found his purpose, and he's an IT desk support guy. He hasn't had a job for a long time, and he's in a shack, living in a squatter camp, and he felt he found his purpose, and that took me to another dimension of the importance of finding our purpose. Dr. Louise Van Rhyn, thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing this valuable moment, but also sharing your purpose with us, which I could see was something that is sacred to you, almost a spiritual thing. And we really appreciate your time today. That's Dr. Louise Van Rhyn, co-founder and CEO of Symphonia Leadership Development. Thank you.